Hello and welcome to Mindful Living, where we explore the art of living with the intention, balance, and inner peace. I am Avik, your host, guiding you through conversations on health, meditation, mental well being, mindfulness, and the mind body connection. Each episode features expert insights to help you grow, heal, and thrive. So, take a deep breath, relax, and join us on this journey to a more mindful and fulfilling life. So, let's get started.
Hello and welcome, listeners, to the Mindful Living podcast. Today, we have an incredible guest who has dedicated her life to helping people break free from the beliefs that hold them back and live with greater purpose and authenticity. Blake Lefkoe. So, listeners, Blake Lefkoe is a certified facilitator of the Lefkoe Method, a transformative process created by her late father, Morty Lefkoe, designed to help individuals eliminate limiting beliefs and destructive patterns. Excuse me. After her own personal journey of overcoming addiction and rediscovering this life changing method, Blake is passionate about guiding others on their path to healing, growth, and fulfillment. And in today's episode of the Mindful Living, we'll dive into the power of beliefs, how mindfulness plays a role in living an authentic, grounded, minimalist life, and what it means to break free from limitations that no longer serve us. Blake's insights and experiences will inspire you, listeners, to reflect on your own belief and how you can live more in alignment with your true self. So let's get ready and dive deep into this conversation. So, Blake, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor having you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Great. So, can you start by sharing your personal journey of transformation and how you found your way back to the Lefkoe method? What was the turning point for you?
Yeah, the turning point was I was in my late 30s and I had a seven was 7 or 8 at the time, my son. And I was bartending and I was drinking and I was surfing and I was in unhealthy relationships. And one day I just woke up and realized that I was so unfulfilled and my life was unsustainable and I wasn't being present and I wasn't being mindful and I wasn't living an intentional life. My life was happening to me.
Mhm.
And I decided to change. It kind of just got to a point where I was like, I just can't. I had hurt my back and I was out, I live in the ocean. I'm an avid wing foiler and a surfer, and I was out of the water and I had broken up with another boyfriend and was just on the couch crying. And I was like, there's more to life. This isn't the way. And I was so lucky that I had this amazing tool available for me. And I really had to go on my own journey and find my own path so that I could find my way back to that organically. And it wasn't just, well, I was raised with this and I was brought up with this, so this is the way. And I started eliminating beliefs and working on myself. I tried other modalities. I sat with plant medicines, and I had a complete transformation. And I got sober and I got out of the restaurant industry after 3 decades of being in it and not seeing any escape, no matter how hard I looked. And I just really changed my whole life and mindset and energy, which changed how I parented and who showed up in my life and what showed up in my life and the way that I existed. And I started sleeping well and eating clean. And I started my own business where I get to help people work on their stuff so that they can live authentic lives aligned with their passions and values and not live lives the way they think that they should be lived or the way that they are being lived. So they just continue doing it because they're stuck. And it's so gratifying to help other people on that path because I know how profound of a difference those shifts can make in your life.
Definitely, definitely. That's a very inspiring journey, Blake, of course, and the kind of transformation you have had. It's really inspiring. Moving away from the complexities, the hustle, just for nothing, eating away our soul and mind. I think it's better to have that authenticity and simplicity in our lives, which is very fulfilling. So, thank you so much for sharing the journey.
Thank you. And it's important too, because I think a lot of people don't know how to live an authentic life. They don't know what their passions and values are. They've been told for so long that this is what it should look like, and this is what's expected of you, and this is what, is going to make people happy or make people like you. And so you have to unlearn all those things so you can find what makes you happy and live a life according to that, because a lot of people don't even know what that is.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so limiting beliefs, they can deeply affect our lives without us even realizing it. So, how can someone start identifying, realizing these beliefs, and what role do they play in keeping us stuck in negative patterns?
So our beliefs determine our reality. They determine how we see the world. They determine what shows up for us, how we react, how we respond, the emotions we feel, the things we think. And typically, they're programmed from such a young age that often we don't even know that we have them.
Yeah.
Or we find coping mechanisms so we don't realize that we have them. We suppress them with work, drugs, alcohol, relationships, any vice that we can find. And the way that I work is you find the pattern. So what's an unwanted pattern, behavioral or an emotional? Procrastination, anxiety, addiction, depression, toxic relationships, anywhere where you're stuck, kind of a loop of negative self-talk. And then you find the beliefs that cause that pattern. A lot of people have the belief, I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. My needs aren't important. I'm not important. I'm not lovable. These are all just kind of basic core self-esteem beliefs that most people go through life with. And as you start eliminating the beliefs, the patterns start to shift automatically. You don't have to do anything. You start seeing things differently. Things start showing up differently. You start reacting to things differently. If you have the belief, I'm powerless, anytime somebody tells you something that feels like they're telling you what to do, you're going to get triggered and angry. That's how you're going to respond. And when you get rid of that belief, I'm powerless, and someone tells you what to do, then you can go, oh, is this something I want to do? Does this make sense? What's their reason behind it? Maybe they're my boss and I should just do it because it's my job, or maybe that doesn't align with me and I'm going to choose not to. But now you have a choice. So, we're always, beliefs are like self-fulfilling prophecies. We're always looking for examples of, yep, see, I'm not good enough. There's another example. I didn't do that thing, or I didn't get that job, or I didn't get that raise or that promotion, or I didn't get invited to that party, or, whatever it is. And as those beliefs start to go away, we create space to see things differently and to have things show up differently. It's so powerful.
It is. It is. Lovely, lovely. So, so our whole podcast is centered around that, mindfulness, which is such a powerful tool in transformation, as we have seen with so many of our guests and sharing their personal journeys, their transformative journeys with us. How do you see mindfulness fitting in the process of eliminating these limiting or negative beliefs and creating a more authentic and fulfilling life?
I think being mindful is such a key component, because if you're being mindful, you're being present. And if you're being present, you're in touch with where you're at and how you feel and what you want and what you need. And that can help move you forward to living an authentic life.
Yep.
If you're just kind of head down and in the rat race and going and doing, you're not being present. And number one, when you're not present, life is passing you by, right? Oh, I'll be happy when I get this raise. I'll be happy when I buy this car. I'll be happy when I'm in this relationship. But in the interim, that's your life and you're not being happy. So how do you focus on each moment and be mindful of that moment and how you're existing in it and to be present and grateful, right? You know, if you're able to be mindful, then you're able to exist in a state of gratitude. And that alone can really transform your life because it's hard to feel grateful and angry.
Yep.
And it's hard to feel grateful and depressed. And if you can come back to even when something's hard, oh, what can I learn from this? Right? And being mindful and being present. What is this situation actually? What's it actually mean? And what's it actually look like? And what can I get out of it? And how can I move through it so that my life is better as a result of it? Instead of just reacting, right? You can respond to it when you're mindful. And when you're not, you react and your emotions kind of get the best of you. And also in terms of just when you're mindful, you notice your thoughts and what comes up.
Yep.
And a lot of those thoughts are things like, no, there's something wrong with me, or life is hard, or relationships don't work, or nothing I have to say matters. Well, those are all beliefs that you can change. Those don't have to be your running commentary. And when you're mindful, then you're more aware that those thoughts are there and you can take the first step to do something about them.
That's true. And living authentically often requires us to let go of who we think we should be, as you rightfully said in the beginning of this conversation. So, what advice do you have for individuals who are struggling to find their true selves amidst societal or maybe internal pressures?
My best piece of advice is your life doesn't have to look any particular way. People think, oh, it has to look like this. I have to do this. I have to have this. And none of that is real. They're all made up constructs that we've been taught. And even if you look at life now compared to a decade ago, before COVID, and most people worked for other people.
Yes, that's true.
And now after COVID, I mean, how many entrepreneurs do you know? It's like this huge new world of people being like, wait, it doesn't have to look like that. It can look like something else. And now this is becoming a new norm. And now children are growing up in a world where this is a possibility. And it's not that it wasn't a possibility before. It just wasn't popular. It wasn't talked about.
True.
Really just kind of questioning what you're doing and why. Are you getting married because you're madly in love with someone and want to spend the rest of your life with them and make a commitment? Or are you getting married because you were told that that's what you should do?
Right.
And I think just really questioning and seeing what resonates with you, what feels good and what feels right. And not because someone else thinks you should or society thinks you should, or that's what it looks like in the movies. There's all different kinds of relationships out there. People are, polyamorous and they're monogamous and they're this and they're that. And build a relationship that works for you and your partner. What do you guys want it to look like? It doesn't have to look like anything. How do you want to parent your child? What feels right to you? What makes sense for you and your child?
Lovely, lovely. That was really, really empowering, Blake. So, moving on to the Lefkoe method. How does this method uniquely help people overcome these ingrained thought patterns?
It's incredible in that it actually helps you eliminate the belief. So there's no affirmations, there's no remembering, oh, I have to think about this differently or shift my perspective or I have to take deep breaths. You just nullify the trigger. You actually just get rid of, we think that we saw our beliefs, or kinesthetic people feel like, oh, I felt this way. That's how I know it's true. And through a series of questions, very kind of step-by-step process, by the end of the process, you realize that what you have lived with as the truth your entire life is not. And it just dissolves and the energy shifts, and you're able to look at patterns that have been in your life in a different way just after eliminating 1, 2, or 3 beliefs. And at the end of every session, we start the session with kind of defining a pattern, what's not working in your life, behavioral or emotional, what are the beliefs that contribute to it? And then at the end, you check the pattern. Okay, well, now imagine doing this thing. Imagine standing up for yourself. Imagine sitting down to write the book that you've been procrastinating for a year. What comes up now? And it always feels better, more possibility, more open, more excitement until you eliminate all the beliefs blocking that step. And then you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm writing my book. Oh, I'm standing up for myself all the time.
Great. And healing and growth are deeply interconnected. So how has your own journey of personal healing contributed to your growth, both as a facilitator and as an individual? What lessons have you learned along the way?
Oh gosh. I learned so much. I mean, I feel like that's kind of why we're here, is just to heal and learn and grow. And there's no finish line. You just that's the whole journey. And how much enjoyment can you find along that journey? And how can that journey help you live a life with more joy and more passion, and learning how to sit with uncomfortable feelings and know that they're okay and to not take them personally. I am not sad. Blake is not sad. That is not who I am. Right? Like, I'm energy having this human experience, experiencing this emotion of sadness and just sitting with it. What does it feel like to be sad? It's like when you meditate, you're watching your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're just observing them. So not taking that sadness personally and just observing it. What's it feel like? And when you don't take it personally, it passes. And it's okay. And if you feel like crying, you cry. And you do the things and the sadness passes. And then there's another emotional experience. And I guess just learning how to be in life in ways that work.
As a mother, how has your journey influenced the way you parent, Blake? What values or lessons from your own transformation are you most eager to pass on to your son?
Oh my goodness. That was really where I noticed my personal growth, like showing up so strongly, was how I interacted with my child. And used to fight in the mornings. There was just yelling and tears, and it was terrible. And now our mornings are they're lovely. We get snuggles and we laugh and we both help each other and support each other and all the things we need to do to get him out of the house to school. And I'm able to be so much more present and mindful in my interactions with him and giving him, undivided time and energy to help him through whatever he's going through, or just to play catch in the yard or to swim in the ocean, and to see where he's at and what he needs, and to be empathetic and allow him to be uncomfortable and not just feel like I need to fix everything that's not right in his world, because that's an important skill to have. And just learning how to communicate with him really well and teaching him the value of communication and having feelings, but learning how to respond to them as opposed to react to them. Our kids are our biggest teachers.
Yeah.
So you can always see what's coming up. Oh, he's not doing what I want and I'm angry. He's acting like an 11-year-old. I have unreasonable expectations and I'm upset. So then I got to look at, well, why am I expecting that? Why am I getting triggered? Why am I feeling powerless when my 11-year-old is acting like an 11-year-old? what do I need to look at and work on and shift because he's not doing anything wrong.
Lovely. That's really lovely. Very, very touching, Blake. And before we wrap up, for listeners who are feeling stuck or held back by their current beliefs, what are some practical first steps they can take to begin shifting their mindset and stepping into a more authentic life?
I think mindfulness is really good. I think meditation is helpful, and meditation without expectations. Don't expect your mind to be quiet. It won't be. Just allow yourself to step back and observe your thoughts and your emotions kind of as an observer instead of a participant. And that can be a really helpful perspective shift if you're really ready to kind of dive in and start eliminating beliefs. My website is Blake Lefkoe, BLAKE, LEF as in Frank, KOE.com.
Mm-hmm.
And my email is the same, Blake Lefkoe at Gmail. And you can schedule a free consultation, ask me any questions, tell me what's going on, share your story, where you're at, where you want to be, and we can set up a plan to help you move forward.
And
Even just looking at, what you believe and seeing how it's
mm-hmm.
you stuck and trying to there's so many modalities out there. Seeing what else works for you. This is what works for me, and it works for a lot of my clients, but that's not to say there's nothing else. There's nothing else out there. There's just keep finding something, keep trying stuff till you find something that works for you.
Exactly, exactly. And another thing I would like to share with listeners about Blake is she doesn't use social media, and I totally, I love, this thing. And we had discussed this in our previous discussions as well. So that's, I think, one of the best thing about Blake.
Gotta live authentically, do what works for you, even if everyone tells you that you're crazy.
But I love it. I love it. I absolutely, appreciate how you authentically live. It's very it's a journey. It's not a one day or just a quick transformation. It takes a lot of persistence, effort, and bravery uh, to get your entire life transformed and cultivate mindfulness and also have a fulfilling life. So that's really, really encouraging, Blake. And thank you so much for such an insightful, delightful, and inspiring conversation.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's always so lovely to chat with you.
Exactly. And it's listeners, it's clear that breaking free from limiting beliefs, as Blake rightfully explained to us, is key to living a life authentically with purpose and joy. So, for those of you who want to learn more about the Lefkoe method and also connect with Blake, you can refer the show notes with all the details about her website. And for more information, you can write an email to her. And if today's episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to the Mindful Living podcast for more transformative conversations like these on mindfulness. And until next time, take mindful steps toward living the life you truly deserve.